All right. Should be good. Got chat over here, although I can't figure out how to pop it out. There's no button to pop out chat, but that's fine. I can do this instead.
Can you right click and open frame in new window?
No, but I don't want the whole stream. I just want chat.
Well, yeah, but
whatever.
If it's an iframe, you can often open that in a new.
Maybe. I don't care.
Just trying to help.
It's fine. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Am I also being told to be quiet?
You can not be quiet if you want to.
And I'm cooking.
I don't care.
But I don't know how much you want your stream followers to know. Like, I was afraid to bring you dinner last time.
Well, they can hear you right now.
They can?
Yeah. That's how streaming works.
Do you want me to withhold dinner from you until...
No, you can make dinner.
Is that okay? No, not make dinner, but like bring it to you. Do you want... Because before you streamed so long and I had dinner ready and it was getting cold.
Yeah. I might go past 8. I probably will. You can... I don't want to...
You're not answering the question.
I don't even know what the question is. What do you want?
Can I bring you food?
Yes, you can.
It's okay to eat on stream? That seems rude.
Well, they can't smell it. Should be okay. Okay. So, welcome to Programming and Math. Is that the name of the stream? Yes, Programming and Math. That's what we do in this stream. Hopefully the audio is working. Audio? Audio's good. And let's see, last time? What happened last time? Last time I, oh, wait, utmost importance. Utmost importance. There we go. Got a tweet about it. Stream starting now. Why would you? All right. So last time we worked on a bunch of features for the reflection system. Now I think I pretty much have all of the features I need to start integrating into, well, that's not true. I already integrated it into the game for the level format. So when you save a level from the editor, it will get saved when you export to the engine. It will get saved in this format, T-level. But it's really simple. It's just like the name of the static geometry model file, and then a string that has like all the information about all the entities and how many entities there are. That's it. Really simple. But now I think I've done enough with the reflection system that I can start including more formats. So like this is my font format. Font format is a little bit more complicated because it has like a, well, not even that thing. That thing's also complicated. This is an array of structs. This is, I think, another array of structs. I see kerning entry is a struct. T-packed care is a struct, yeah. And then glyph index is like, this is basically some feature that I want to do with my reflection system where you can type def one type to another and force like an array to only use a certain type. The microphone is actually in my way and I can't see. So like this table right here, the code point table, should only take indexes of a certain type. And wait, no, sorry. The t-packed care array should only take indexes of a certain type, and it's like extra type safety. I like to do this a lot with my vector. In fact, this is probably a worthwhile tangent. T-vector. My vector class No, not that kind. It's called TArray, actually. What am I talking about? TArray. TArray is my vector class. It's called TArray because of, I'm trying to avoid the name vector is too overloaded, I think. Anyway, so you can template it by the index type. Like, I don't have an allocator type or anything. I don't need any of that. The index is what I'm interested in. So you template by the index type, and then when you go to index it, it requires you to use that type. So this is really cool. This is super tangent, but actually I think I want to show how this works. Let's see. I have to find one in my code that does this. And oh, of course, the code that does this will be the code that I'm trying to replace over here. That's probably true. So where were my formats? Where did they go? So let's see. T-glyph index. So no, tpect_char. So this guy right here is probably an array that uses the indexing thing. I'll show you how that works. I have to go to Igor and not even thinking properly. This is fonts, so tfont. So let's see here. So this is where it writes the font data, and no, this isn't gonna have it. Damn. Let's see. Let me just cruise through a few random header files and see if I can find a good example. Here, there's not one here. TArray. No, it's not. It's not the one I want. Here we go. Unsigned int. Well, that's not as interesting, is it? Okay, but it forces that one. Okay, let's see. Where do I use this? Model previewer and model previewer. You know what? Maybe I can do it like this. I'm just going to search specifically for TArray. Yeah, okay, great. And then grep, and then let's see. Grep all of that for commas. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. This one. This one will be perfect. All right, so I have a big array of all of the resources in my game, and so it's an array of resources that forces you to use a resource index to index the array. And a resource I guess resource index isn't defined in this file. Where would it be? It's been so long since I've seen this code. I've been working the reflection system so long. I don't even remember where all my stuff is. Resource index. Oh, of course. No? Okay. Let's find resource index. Oops. So I want to find where this is defined, and there it is, commands.h. That's a weird place for it. Why would I put it there? So enum class is like a strong type def. It's a way of making a type that is equivalent to uint32, but is not uint32. So if I have a resource index, it won't automatically cast to uint32. It won't like automatically coerce to uint32. Which is important, because if I have any old uint32, I don't want to index my array with that. I only want to index my array with a resource index. That's really important, because like for type safety, if I have a resource, okay, let's look at some code in here. So funny.
You're interrupting yourself a lot.
Yeah, I'm not very good at explaining things. So let's look at a use case. Here we go. So I'm walking through my, this is a find resource method, and I'm walking through all my resources trying to find one that matches this name. And, okay, this is maybe not the best example because I actually cast it from an integer here. So let me find a better example. Here we go. Okay, so this is get font. And get font like accepts a resource index as a parameter. And so because this is a really strong type, like it can't be cast, it won't automatically cast from an integer or something. That means when I create a new resource index, create a new one. I hand you a resource index, and you have to hand me back a resource index, and you don't know what it means. You just know that it's resource index. And so like, unless you do something crazy with that resource index, I know that what I'm going to get back is going to be a valid resource index, and I can use it to index into my array of resources. I hope that makes sense. I don't think that made any sense anyway. So where were we? So I have a bunch of formats that I want to use, and I want to use my reflection to load fonts and to load textures and to load models, for example. And now I actually have enough features in my reflection library to do this. So I'd like to try to hook up my reflection library into the engine and see what I get. See if I can actually make use of some of these. I should be supporting, like, this is not a used file right now. This is an example file. But I should at this point support most of the features in it. I support this versioning. I support enums, namespaces. I support, that's an enum. I don't support this yet, which is my indexing stuff that I just tried to explain. I want to be able to force the index of this array, but I can't do that yet. So I might have to settle for like so instead of tglyph index, this right here will have to be like, uint16 for now. And I'll have to copy this out. Oh, comment this out. And I don't support comments yet. I think that should be the only thing, just those two things that I haven't supported yet. So let's start with something simple. Let's try to integrate the texture format into the game engine. Let's hop over to CMake and turn off building tests. All right. Does everything build? Good, everything builds. Okay. So now over here, this is where I have this utility called Igor, and he compiles assets basically. Like he's a tool that takes a ping and makes it into a texture that I can load into my engine. And later he'll do stuff like, compress the texture and optimize the model file. But right now he does pretty simple, compiling of of fonts and levels and models and texture. And so
Unearthing dead bodies for spare parts.
he also unearths dead bodies for spare parts, but he's not good at bringing me the right brain. He brings me bad brain sometimes. Okay, so here I have a compiled ttext, and here I have write ttext. That's actually what I want. So here I write ttext, and right now it uses my old bad system of writing file formats out. I'll show you my bad system, and you'll... Oh, what did I do? And you'll see why I wanted to replace it. Common formats. And what are we replacing? Texture. So the old bad system was, I have literally a header, a struct that is the information in the file. And there's one for tTexture and there's one for tTexture data. And I would write things into the struct, and then I would just create a memory map directly to a file. I would just like take the thing in the struct and write it directly to the disk, which is not the best way to do it. That's what this format write stuff is, and that's what I'm trying to get rid of. Like, it's not portable in the least. If you build your program with a different compiler, then that struct, the layout of this struct might change completely, right? And then I won't be able to load my texture. And then I also, like, part of the reason I made the reflection system is I wanted versioning. If I add a thing here, like, I don't know, what could I add to it? What's part of a texture file? You know, compression type. I want to be able to add a compression type, but still not have to recompile all of the old textures that I have sitting around. So I think we can start trying to, okay, let's start by copying this stuff over here. Oh, actually I need all three of these. So this is my texture, and it has texture data. The intention of the texture data is that I can keep it around after the, like, I can deallocate the texture. You know, texture data is a bad name for it, actually. Let's call it texture info, because it's more like, you know, metadata. So this is the actual texture data. That's the pixels, and then you have like the information about the pixels, which is width, depth, height, filters that should be used to render it, this sort of thing. So the idea with the texture info, the reason why it's not right here, like in the tTexture, is that I'd like to be able to like free this right here, but keep that around. Because this could be a lot of information, but I'd like to keep all the tTexture infos, even if the rest of it is, even if the actual texture data is gone. So let's stick that in here. Okay. Now when we rebuild, it should run reflection. Oh, we already have a bunch of errors, so that's good. So it did run reflection, so that works. So that means it should have somewhere in here reflection? Yeah. So it spit out some reflection files as part of my reflection system. Great. So it just generated this file. We saw it doing a bunch last week. Last week was when we were working on, which one? This print statement. So that all looks good. It made a bunch of files. Okay. Everything looks good, except that we got some errors. Implicit conversion changes signedness. Oh, you know what these errors are? These errors are because I'm compiling with more like warnings and errors in I compile my game with like pretty strict warnings, and I set all warnings as errors, and that's what's going on here. That's what it doesn't like. So that should be pretty straightforward to change, to fix. So I think this is what I need to do. HBF get array index. So it's expecting a uint32t, but I'm giving it just a regular int for this parameter right here. And that's no bueno. But I should just be able to, what's the right way to deal with this? Yeah, I think the right way to deal with this is to make that guy a uint32. Okay. What? Oh, I must have another instance of this. Oh, no, I know what it is. I have to rerun reflection. So let's force a change. My eyes are not doing so great with those onions. Alright, so next, error return type of out of definition. Return type of out of line definition of this differs from that in the declaration. Info? What on earth is info? I don't remember I made any function called info. Oh, info. Oh, that's the name. Oh, duh. Yeah. Info. Okay. So then the declaration of info, it returns a t-texture info. Oh, it's because oh no. Oh no. Oh, that's not good. Okay, so this is a legit bug. So what's going on here is... Yeah. Yeah. What's going on here is the t-texture depends on the t-texture info, which is defined earlier. But in in this file right here, I guess the t-texture info comes late. Oh wait, yeah. T-texture info. No, this is wrong. How's this right? This is wrong. This is returning the wrong thing. Okay, it is a legit bug, but it's different than I thought it was. I thought it was that, yep. I thought it was an includes problem where I wasn't including the right file in this header. But no. T-texture info. Let's see if that's a problem. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna move this down here, so it will emit it second in the in the reflection data, and then we'll see if we get like an undefined access to incomplete type. So this is 2 legit bugs. Oh man. Info print. Yeah, like it doesn't recognize the type. So basically I need to do when I emit the generated code, I need to put all the includes at the top, which is easy to do. Let's do that. That will fix 1 bug. Not entirely though, will it? Because in the header file, it's going to refer to t-texture info, like this, but there's no include for t-texture info. So that might be weird. I think we can do this. So this is generated code, so I don't mind it being a little bit nasty. But I can do like this. Struct t-texture info. So at least now it's not going to complain about... Yeah. See, now it says struct t-texture info. So it won't complain about, like, you know, something that it doesn't recognize right here. Just because I haven't done the include file. Yeah, and the includes is a tough problem in a reflection system because then I have to do some detection here that like this file depends on all these other includes, and because it's generated code, it'd be tough. Like somewhere up here, I'd have to have like a loop that says, you know, for every dependency of this file. I'd rather not do that, you know. I'd rather let's just do a forward declaration there and right here and call it a day. So that fixes that part of the problem. But over here, we still have the wrong thing that we're returning right here. You know what? Generate a header file named header.h with all the libraries and call it whatever you want. If you mean like put all of my formats in one header file, I don't know if that's the best idea because you want to be able, like, if you only change one of your formats, you don't want all of the header files to regenerate, and then you have to rebuild your entire project, right? You only want one of, like, I haven't implemented that yet. Right now, it will just rewrite all the header files. But I think ideally, like, if you just add a new version right here, you know, it doesn't influence anything else. So you don't want it to write all of the files. But I do something almost as bad, and I put all of the generated code in one C++ files, which is just me being lazy. Eventually, I'm going to have to go in there and fix that. It should put it in separate files again for the same reason, so that you don't generate a bunch of stuff. I'm sorry, so that you don't like recompile everything just because you changed one thing. Okay, so this is bad. Let's find the generated code. It all depends on the size of your project. Don't worry, when you link all the files, the redundancy is reduced. Yeah, that's why I'm not worrying about it. It does depend on the size of your project. That's not why I'm worrying about it. That's why I'm not worrying about it right now. And in a small project, you're probably right. And if you just put all the code in one file, it's fine. But I'm engineering it. This probably won't ever be used in a game, you know, the size of like that a AAA studio would produce. But I still want to engineer it so that it could be used, or so that it could be easily adapted to be used in that context. Because I don't know, quality engineering is a thing that I try I try to strive for sometimes, for some reason. So this is the problem, figuring out where in all this generated code I emit the one function that I'm interested in right now. I can't even tell if this is a getter or setter. Oh, these are getters. Okay, so this is what I want. Okay, this is what I want right here. Okay. So struct name. This is not what I want. This is not what I want. It should not be struct name. It should be down here is where I have it right. Field struct. Yeah, I need to do this. Field struct dot name. And I get field struct from the, okay. I think that will help me. So just to be clear on what's happening, when I'm generating this info right here, like this info method, when I'm doing the code generation, it's using this class right here instead of the actual, like, what the return value should be. Like, this field is a struct. Yeah, I'm a software engineer. If you couldn't tell. This field is another struct, and the reason this worked in my test cases is because I was implementing a tree basically, and like each node contains other nodes, and so you know, this was identical. So that was a mistake on my part, but this should solve it right here. That's a weird question. Am I a software engineer as opposed to what? Like, obviously I'm programming here. Oh yeah, see? Now I have the same problem. Now it's saying it can't recognize the type because, yeah, I should probably put all of the includes at the top of this file. Oh, yes, my degree it was in math. I got a math degree instead of a computer science degree, so I know a lot of math and I know a lot of programming, and we do both on this stream. It's great. Yes, sorry, I didn't, yeah, I guess, did I not make that clear here? My profile. I don't think I'm doing any overloads here. Do you mean like virtual methods overload, or do you mean arguments overload, like multiple arguments overload? Non-pertinent question. Do you launch xcode / vs debug, or here's my debugger. I'm kind of crazy, so I debug with the command line debugger because I'm literally insane. I think only insane people do this, but this is how I debug. I've actually been meaning to figure out a better debugging solution for the stream because I imagine it's very difficult to follow what I'm doing in the debugger from the stream. I have no problem with it, but like it's not very visual. So if someone complains enough, I will go and try and get Xcode working and debugging for this thing. So you just have to complain enough, and I'll go do that. If this doesn't make any sense. Or you could ask me to show you how this works, and I've done that on stream before. Definitely insane, yeah. So I just like I haven't used Xcode in a long time, but it might be better. I might like it better. But Visual Studio just freezes up all the time, and it's like it's a bad experience for debugging, and I don't know. Like the whole thing is, I'd rather use the command line, and you get the same thing with just a little bit less nice interface. I don't know. So let's see if we can try nested debugging from the bottom to top. Also confirm if the method you are using is using the correct arguments in the correct sequence. Nested debugging from the bottom to top. I have no idea what you mean, sorry. I think you're leading me on. I think you are joking, sir. Which is fine. This is Twitch after all.
Very serious.
It's very serious internet stuff. So let's see. So I think I'm just gonna have the generated code spit like a header file for each struct right here at the top. So for each struct, and that way I'll always, I know I'll always have each symbol that I need. This may not work. Visual Studio is okay for debugging. Use checkpoints and run your program again. Yeah, Visual Studio is... I like to say that Visual Studio is the least crappy tool for debugging.
Uh-oh.
You know, it's it's not terrible. It's not absolutely terrible. There are some parts of it that are really bad that I definitely don't like, but. Get the point of error from there. Okay, use checkpoints and run your program again. Get the point of error there from there and climb from where it's called nested debugging. Sure, but like I haven't gotten anything running yet, so I don't know why you're talking about that. As a text editor, I like Sublime, but Visual Assist is pretty nice, actually. They got it for me at work. But, like, it's... I mostly use Visual Assist for opening files. Like, you know, what is it? Alt-Shift-O is 90% of what I use Visual... Because I use Sublime for most of my text editing, even at work where I have Visual Studio. But, like, I just use Control-Shift-O to open files, which Sublime does even better than Visual Assist does. So I'm like, why did I even bother buying Visual Assist? I don't know. Maybe I'm just old or something. So let's have this thing include that, and then that. As a text editor for development, I use Vim. You are the insane one. I thought I was the insane one. You're the insane one. I have it modded to do almost everything an IDE does. I totally believe that it can do that, yeah. I mean, I know my way around Vim. I've been using it for long enough to know that I don't really want to use it anymore. If I'm, like, SSH'd into somewhere, I'll use it, but I don't know. Oh, I can't do it this way. I have to using namespace. Yeah, I have to do it like this. Oh, wait. Oh. How did that even not crash? No, this should work. This should work fine. Debugging lots of code sucks. You should have broken your code in several files. I definitely should have done that. In fact, I think that's what I did. Oh, you mean like I should have split up my code into several files? Yeah. I have a bunch of files. Here they are. I mean, I tend to have bigger files than a lot of other, especially like people who are really big into object-oriented programming. But I don't know. So the 4,000 lines is because it's a single file library. So single file meaning like to make it rewriting in Python, that will definitely fix it. To make it something that's easy to distribute and incorporate it into your program, the library writer will just put everything in one file, and then it's really easy to just take that file and dump it into your project, and now you're using their their software. So this is actually like a it's two files. It's not it's not one file. So it's it's maybe a little bit disingenuous to call it a single file library when it's two files. It's one single source file. That's my right. But it makes it easy to incorporate. You literally just copy it into your project and hook it up, and then you're ready to go with it. 5 a.m. here. Only really popped in to say thanks for the GL site. My pleasure, sir. I hope it's useful, and YouTube stuff. Yeah, I really like doing that stuff. So go to bed. What was I doing? Member access to incomplete type. Yeah, it didn't even... Oh, no change to formats. I keep forgetting I have to update my formats. Okay. There we go. Now it's compiled. Now it compiled. So that means my reflect... Yeah, all the data's right here. So good. So I fixed that. Goodbye, Wobbly Bob. 2 twitches for you. Okay, so we had to fix a few issues to get the reflection compiling with these little edge cases that I did. But that's good, because we fixed a bug in the reflection system. That's why I'm not distributing this reflection system yet. Because it's new and there are bugs. So let's get back to trying to integrate it. into my engine. Quiet down, quiet down. Hey. Hey, sit. Silly dog. So, back to what exactly am I programming? I am making an engine, a very small game engine for a very small game, really for fun. Like, I'm just making a game engine. I don't really get enough of my creative energy out at work, unfortunately. So I come home and I keep making games, basically. So this part, let's see. This is the part that we want to replace. Well, this is the part that writes the texture file. So we have to replace this, and then we also have to replace the part that reads the texture file. So let's see. Let's add a new include here, and it will be file formats, t texture reflection.h. And actually, I think I'll have to do also have to do t texture info reflection.h. Yeah, sorry. He's got a very scary bark. Which is good for, you know, we've never been burgled. But it's true that sometimes he barks when I'm trying to stream, and that's not good. So let's see. So, step number 1 is create, well, hold on, using namespace file formats. So now I can create an instance of the texture that I want to, it's the wife's cat, okay, so you don't mind. We're going to create an instance of the texture format that we want to write out here. I need a handle to the reflection. I don't remember where I got that. But I think I do the same thing in another file. So let me go look there. It will have been the level file, yeah. Here we go. I just need this. So I stick that in there. Yep, basically the same thing I was doing over there. Okay, so now we created the instance. The instance is just a bunch of metadata that I can start writing into. So now I need to create get the actual texture from the instance. We can do that. Get struct. So now we have the texture struct. And let's see. So it has some info and the texture data itself. So, can I make a female Korean twerking crew? Could put. No, I can't do that, sorry. Okay. I don't remember how I did this before. Let's see what happens if I do this. Let's see what happens if I do this. So, t-texture info. Texture info equals texture info. So I'm going to try and get the texture info object out of the texture object, and hopefully it doesn't. I don't think it will create the texture info object. I completely forget how I structured my my reflection library. So I think it will just pass me a null object when I try and do that. Oh, that's no good. I guess I can't use namespace file formats yet because I have a name collision. But that's why we have namespaces. I never played King of Fighters. Nope, never played King of Fighters. I've never heard of King of Fighters. Is that a game? File formats, T texture, instance. No member named instance in T texture? Mentira, it's right here. Oh, because this one. File formats. If you want to try something advanced, you could try enhancing subsurface scattering for materials. That's fairly advanced, yeah. I'm not quite there yet. I barely have an engine that renders anything. I honestly think you're trying your hardest to troll me. I'm not sure. Oops. Alright, that works. So let's get out of here. And I think I have somewhere... Oh, this is the build. I think I have somewhere a thing that lets me debug Igor? Yeah, here it is. Debug Igor. And... break in the function that writes the texture file. And, oh, this isn't good. So every time it compiles the level, it has to do all the radiosity for the level, and that takes forever. So I might have to make it skip that. I want to do that right now, though. Okay. Hey, Sean, now I'm trying to integrate the reflection library that I finished last time. Well, I finished it off stream. Trying to actually integrate it into the game now and save some formats with it, and then read them back later. So good. So we create the instance. That looks like it's there. Instance. Yep, that looks valid. And then we create a texture. That also looks valid. And then when we get the texture info, yep, it's not valid, so it returns null. So I need to actually create the texture info, and I forget how to do that. So let me go to the test cases. I'm glad I wrote test cases, or I wouldn't be able to remember how to use my own library. So test cases. So somewhere in these test cases, I create a struct. Yeah, here we go. So how did I do it? Oh, are you for real? I never actually made code to allocate this, like a struct from the generated code and not from the, like... So this is probably how I do it. This is probably how I do it right here. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, this is how I do it. Like you can do it through the generated code, or you can do it through like the typeless non-generated API, and I did it that way. And there's no way to do it here now, unless this will do it, but I don't think it will. Yeah, I think I can. So I'm just gonna do it this way for now. Okay. So this is not going to be great because it's not going to be like the nice type safe thing that we want. But I'll have to go back and fix that later. That's a pretty obvious oversight. And oh my God, Sean, if you're still there, I added a bunch of like your feedback, and then a bunch of other people gave me feedback, and based on that, I added a bunch of stuff to the video, and I spent all weekend recording it, and I'm still not done, and I'm like. And thank you, by the way, yeah, because it was great feedback. I'm like 3/4 of the way through the video, and it's at an hour and 10 minutes or something. Like, oh my God, it's an hour and a half. It's an hour and a half video now, and it's not even like, I think I have 1 or 2 more examples that I haven't recorded yet. So, it's a big video now. Okay, so let's look at yeah, this is probably the most work I've ever put into any video. I mean, obviously it's an hour and a half at this point, and like it's a lot more it's not like math I already knew. So I hope I don't have to do another video. And also, like, my quality bar is going up and up and up. You'll see. I pretty much re-recorded the entire video. Like, all the examples are live coded now. Yeah, long form math videos were fun. I don't know. I got so advanced in the math that I was doing that like it takes me longer and longer to produce every video, and then like at some point it wasn't feasible anymore. And I mean, I say that, but now I'm doing this hour and a half video. Thank you, Artemand. Yeah. You know what? If you suggest a topic, I might take requests. No promises. So let's see. Struct Alec, that's what I need. Do I have to do that even? Yeah, I do have to do that. I have to say latest version. No, it's gonna be gross code. It's not gonna be the prettiest code. I do have a degree in math, yeah. UCLA. It's only an undergrad degree. Don't be too impressed. Yeah, I tried to keep the videos less than 10 minutes, but you know, they would get away from me sometimes. It's really, especially in the later videos, it was really hard to break things into small enough pieces that were like worth. Actually, you know what? I'm like half taking it back. Because my next project after this video is to go back to math videos, but like interactive math videos. And actually, not tensors, but a very similar subject, which is geometric algebra, is gonna be the subject of the interactive videos. And I should probably qualify interactive videos. It's like a web page that plays like a video, but you can interact with it. So instead of me drawing a vector, it draws a vector, and then you can screw around with the vector on the screen. Spoilers. So, I mean, they should play the same as my videos, but then actually, like, there are exercises at the end that you can type code in instead of just me writing code. The person who's on the website, the person who's on the website actually types the code themselves in like a little toy language or something. So, Laplace transforms, though. I thought that's like differential equations. Yeah, Laplace transforms are like a method of solving differential equations. I haven't used that since like my lower div math classes. But yeah, I remember this. We use this a lot. This stuff is really cool. I don't know why you would ever use it in video game programming, but so actually it's not because this whole thing about the interactive video started because I gave a talk, and let's see, at a JavaScript conference of all places. Like, I'm not a JavaScript anything or other, but I have a friend who organizes the conference and who liked my math videos. He's like, you should come give a talk at my conference. And so I like made a JavaScript page that, so they'll be like this basically, right? And it's all 3D, so, and then like, it was an hour-long talk that explained vectors from the beginning because, apparently a lot of JavaScript programmers don't know that. So I basically, like, I want to expand this into like an actual series of videos on a website, and then each one I'll just record me dicking around with it and put it up on YouTube, and we'll continue. But instead of the linear algebra direction, I want to go the geometric algebra direction. Can I explain to you addition? I could, if you wanted me to. If you legit want me to explain addition to you, I will get out my tablet and we'll go there. Yeah, I'm sure there are lots of applications of Laplace transforms. I just, not that many in like video games. You don't need radar simulations for video games, I'm sure they're incredibly useful, and I enjoyed learning them when I did learn them. Yeah. Okay, what was this S thing? Bertrand Russell's addition explanation? I don't even know what you're talking about. Did he have like a special way of explaining addition that was really interesting? Oh. Yeah. He was super philosophical, wasn't he? No, I didn't read a Bertrand Russell book. I read a, apparently 300-page proof that 1 + 1 is 2. I didn't realize that existed. But I read like a little book of quotes of Bertrand Russell, and they were all really good. In fact, let me see if I can find my favorite one. Russell, herd of zebras. It's not going to make any sense out of context. I should probably say Bertrand. Nope, I'm not going to be able to find it now. Oh well. Yeah. And he really liked set theory. So there's that. So I should probably have some way of statically, because I need the struct to pass into here so I can get the latest version. I should probably have some way of being able to statically retrieve the struct from the generated code. Like something here that were static get struct type or something like this. Yeah. Not gonna do that now though. Trying to soldier onward. Especially because if I didn't have the damn, like, if I had the actual generated code to do this, then I wouldn't even need to find the struct, so let's see, let's do this. int texture struct equals find struct. Namespace is file formats. And name is tTexture. So now I have the struct instance, and I can do that. Actually, let me do this. VTBF version, latest texture version. And now I can just do this. Latest texture version. Great. So now, see now once you go over to typeless land, you're stuck there. So I have to do like this. Texture info. This is bad. This is what I didn't want to do. M width. Well, actually, I don't. So now that I know that this is allocated, I could probably just write to it like so. I'm gonna rename this variable so I can reuse it. And then texture info. Texture info. Okay, where's texture info? Set width. Yeah, width. Set height. Set depth. That should work. No known conversion from int to... Really? Oh, because this is just the index. Oh, fine. Index. We'll look up the actual struct. So VTBF struct, texture struct type, and we'll do VTBF get struct. Give it the reflection data and texture struct index. And then put that here. Yes. Height maps. Height maps are a tool that you use. The question is, am I going to put height maps working in my game engine? Height maps are a tool that you use to solve a particular problem. You don't just throw them into the game engine for, just for having height maps. Like, unless you have a, it's like asking, I don't know. Well, I don't know. I'm terrible at analogies, but Sean, I'm making a game engine, not officially for any particular game, but because I like making game engines. There is a point to all this reflection business. So, in fact, I'll show you guys. I have the power. I always forget what I called it. Okay. It is an editor, and everything is covered with the default light map texture, which is a checkerboard. And now when I click somewhere, it's going to generate all the static light maps. It just did it. So that was fun. And then if I move things around, it will regenerate the static light maps, which is nice. Which is basically what you want them to do. So this is as far as I've gotten with this engine. It's not terribly interesting. If I have my mouse plugged in, I can... Where's my mouse? I don't have my mouse plugged in right now. Oh, you guys probably can't see me when I flip the screen down like that, can you? Sorry. So, but yeah, see, you can fly around in the editor. That's pretty much all you can do so far with this engine. No, wait, do I do bounces? No, I don't think I do any bounces yet. Yeah, it's all ray traced. All that, like, any update here, that's updating the whole scene. And it's kind of fast because I'm using SIMD for everything, but it's not that fast, because there's basically nothing in this scene. No normal maps yet. I haven't gotten around to it. I've spent, how long have I spent? I think I started this last November. I started that last November, but it's only like a few nights a week and some weekends, so it's a year's worth of like less than part-time work. Thanks. Yeah, bounces are gonna be weird because what's gonna be weird about bounces? Yeah, because I'm gonna have to like the first. So far, only point lights. Yeah, the first like the first trace is easy because it's like for for every texel, you look at all the lights and you trace out to all the lights. But for bounces, you want to solve the integral over the whole hemisphere. And that's harder, so I need some kind of acceleration structure to be able to tell like which faces are visible from this face and build that list of like which faces can see which faces. So that'd be a bit more work. So no bounces yet. How many samples per texel? Let's go look. I know I did a bunch of, actually that is a good question that there's an interesting answer to. I just remembered. Physics is the shit. That is one game engine show. Yeah, I haven't done any physics yet. You're not planning on doing full GI real time? I don't think so. I think I'm gonna do everything statically because there might be some real time. Like I think I'm gonna do what are they called? What are they called? I have a paper on it. Irradiance volumes. I think I'm gonna do this. Come on, I have a paper on it on my hard drive. Show me my paper. Okay, I might be doing irradiance volumes. Hopefully you know what those are, because I can't find the paper now. But so that's real time. But I don't know if I'll be doing much more than that. I don't know. Maybe if I ever make a game out of this thing, it depends on what the requirements of the game are. I'm not gonna do anything that I don't need for a game that I'm. Or if I find it interesting, I'll do it. Because I don't know. I like things that are interesting. CryEngine, why you mentioned CryEngine? I have a 10-inch stack of rendering paper I got through. Like, really? You just print them out and then just go through them one at a time? What? I made it const. Oh. Const. It's my own fault for using const. Doing semi-irradiance volumes in the world's shittiest, most awesome, hacky way possible. So yeah. Semi-irradiance volumes? Is that like different from regular irradiance volumes? Oh, was it? Yeah, most engines use irradiance volumes, some variation on irradiance volumes these days. There's a lot of stuff on voxel cone tracing to speed up multiple bounces. You might be of interest to you. That would be of interest to me. Voxel cone tracing. Oh, so this is for real time, not for offline. I mean, I guess anything real time could be used offline. Voxel cone tracing. Come on, research.nvidia.com. How big can this paper really be? Come on. Come on. I can just see the research.nvidia.com webmaster thinking, oh man, if we limit the download of our papers to 2 kilobytes a second, then we'll save on so much megabytes. So let's see. I feel like there's a skill in reading papers to, yeah. Oh, that's absolutely true. Pure math papers are very difficult. I mean, you can't, even like the world's leading mathematicians can't read papers outside of their like narrow subfield. But computer graphics papers, oh, cool, yeah. This guy. Computer graphics papers, like, so basically here's the skill. Here's how to be able to read any computer graphics paper, okay? So you go to the references, and then you find all of the things in the references that have, you know, the name of this thing in that name, okay? And then you go look at that paper, and if you still don't understand that paper, then you look at its references, and you go find all the things it refers to, and then you read those papers, and eventually you'll get back, you know, if you focus on earlier dates, you'll get back to a paper that's foundational enough that you'll understand it, and then you can start reading, you know, forward, because the papers all build on each other. Then you can start reading back forward in time, and then you, like, get back to the paper, you're like, oh, now it makes sense now that I know that foundational stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I will save this. Let's see. Did that save it? Did that do anything? Okay, good. So where is my... Got a little place where I put my papers. We'll go right there. Okay. Hopefully I'll actually remember it when it's time for me to do the bounces stuff, which will probably not be very soon. So the whole reason I did any of that ray tracing stuff at all was oh, good. Let me bring that up too. Yeah, the only reason I did that I did any of that rendering stuff was that I wanted to get into physically based rendering, and you know, with physically based rendering you need environment maps and like light probes and stuff, and so I just wanted to have a scene that I could generate a light probe out of, because I'd basically done a little bit of ray tracing before, but not a lot. So I was like, okay, I'll get practice ray tracing, and then I'll learn how to build light probes, and I'll learn how to build environment maps, and then I'll use that, and then I'll learn how to build PBR. And then I got totally sidetracked with the reflection stuff, and that was like months ago. So I was just slowly working my way through all these topics. So let's see, what am I searching for? Voxel cone tracing. Voxel cone. Perfect. Dynamic global illumination for games. Alex Evans? This is Alexei Panteleev, but it was only last year, actually. Let me search for Alex Evans. Oh, here we go. Well, this is a game design talk. Are you sure it's Alex Evans? The only Alex Evans talk is successes in making of Little Big Planet. But I found an NVIDIA talk by Alexei Panteleev, Dynamic Global Illumination for Games. Yeah. Cone tracing shaders. Yeah. No, I found it. It's a different guy named Alex, but all right. A different Alex guy. What's he doing? Whatever, yeah. I'll check it out later. Okay. Okay, so these just want to be... will that work? Love Sublime. I mean, yeah. So basically, they can't do full dynamic global illumination, so they choose what to trim while keeping it look good most of the time. That description is basically all of 3D rendering, right? Like, you can't solve the rendering equation, so you choose which parts to skip while still keeping it look good. That's like every 3D graphics paper ever. You can't even do it offline. Yeah, exactly. You just come up with better and better ways of approximating it. All rendering is what shortcuts you can take, yeah. And, you know, given that that is like a fact of our universe, you can't get around it. Even though we have that limitation in our universe, video games look pretty good these days. Like they've they've figured out some pretty cool tricks. It's impressive if you think about it. The intersection between like the science and the research and the sheer computational power that they have available. Even their rendering equation doesn't solve rendering. It doesn't deal with transmission properties. Still, that's also true. Yeah, that's a good point. It only deals with, you know, irradiance, basically. Right? I'm terrible with terms, but there's some modern research race tracers dealing with wave optics. That's pretty interesting. I believe that, yeah. So you mean like computer graphics researchers that are writing new ray tracers? Well, you say ray tracers, but like ray tracers dealing with wave optics. Like, are they simulating rays or waves? Because they can't really do both. Maybe they can. I guess at the wavelength of visible light. Yeah, at the wavelength of visible light, a ray and a wave are basically the same thing. You can kind of treat them the same. Yeah. Good graphics like Uncharted. Okay. Uncharted does have pretty good graphics, actually. So what's going on here? Fresnel is a really rough approximation for ray optics only. Oh, I see what you're saying. So, they're simulating light as a wave, but that doesn't work for like Fresnel and stuff. Or I'm not sure what you're saying because I've never been exposed to this, but any interesting math classes or graphics classes that you could take? You're currently taking numerical methods. Well, that numerical methods is probably like honestly, depending on your school, numerical methods might be a better graphics class than than the actual graphics classes, because there's a lot of numerical methods in rendering. In rendering and graphics, and you know, being strong on math helps a lot. If you're naturally interested in graphics, and like, so I went to UCLA and the graphics class was kind of babyish. Like it wasn't that good, honestly. It's like baby's first graphics class. I wasn't really. It was the easy class that I took in between, you know, all the really advanced math classes I could take. Numerical methods being one of them. So, but if the school has a good graphics class, then that's one thing. Or you can try taking the like, if you know enough about graphics that you think you could skip the undergrad graphics class, which I don't think you would have to learn much. You can maybe see if there are any graduate level graphics classes. That is all important. Calculus 3, like multivariable calculus, is all really important. Yeah, like the rendering equation that we've been talking about is a like a 3D integral, right? Like the very basics of rendering. The rendering equation is you're integrating over a hemisphere, and that's just pure multivariable calculus. Of course, for rays, you technically have to integrate over an infinite volume to properly simulate wave optics. An infinite oh, you just mean the hemisphere. I just mean things like the refractive index are really rough approximations that we apply to ray optics to get decent approximations, but errors accumulate quickly. Wave optics deal with refractive index in a much more correct way. Oh, I see, yeah. So like, so you're saying we're doing like rays don't simulate wave behavior as well, so so you have to do all these hijinks to get wave behavior out of the rays, but if you just simulate the waves, then you're getting all that. I think that's what you're saying. This is very good. Intro graphics. Oh yeah, there you go. Oh, I might learn something from that, actually. Copy link address. Paste. Oh my god. Stream is so smart. Cool. You can use renders that compute wavelengths to the level of detail your hardware supports. Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah. So where was I? Okay, I'm having this problem now where the enum that's been passed into this function doesn't match the enum that my reflection system wants, and the reflection system enum should be the one that I actually use. So I have to now go and figure out where this enum is coming from and replace everything with the other enum. So first of all, where does that enum come from? Texture.h, should have guessed. So I'm just going to delete this enum because I now have it here. There it is.
Very hot.
Thank you. So I get to delete that, which is nice. Or maybe I shouldn't delete it. Oh, because I have all this other stuff. That. What do you mean by Lux renderer? Because all PBR renders anyway use Lux as a basic unit of you know, like a physics unit for doing their computations. So let's see. So update that there, and that will probably cause a cascade of errors. I can actually delete all this stuff now, can't I? Oh, is there one called capital L? Here we go. Ah, damn it. I didn't want to close my terminal. Oh. Nope. Yeah. Okay, so file formats, T filter. Updating everything to say the new thing. Have to include a file. Format reflection.h. Format reflection.h. So Lux Render is something that you would use if you're an artist and you want to create like a scene by rendering it. As a programmer, I guess if someone's hiring you to write plugins for Lux Render, you might do that. But you know, as a programmer, it's our job to basically write Lux Render rather than use it to make scenes. Why is it? Oh, more of this. Okay, that looked like it worked. T-font. Okay, what did I do with, let's see, this is texture.h. What did I do with level.h? Is there a level.h? There's a texture.h. Oh, I deleted level.h. Oh. Is that true? Common formats. Oh, wait. Common formats. Yeah, I deleted level.h. Maybe I should delete texture.h. I'm going to do it. I did it. I'm replacing it with my reflection system, so I don't need it anymore. Did it go away? It didn't go away. Why didn't it go away? Delete. You didn't hear me? Don't save. It's not there. Oh, there we go. Now it's gone. Okay. I deleted it. That's crazy. I don't know what will happen. It is gone. Okay. Let's, texture.h. Let's go see where it was included. It was included here. And here. And in all these places. Okay. So, hopefully they will all error now. Yeah. So, but I did not remove T-level from here, from my formats array. Okay. So, let's see. It's just that this turned into that. And this turned into that. I'm going to have to update this. This is an array of all my file formats. I'm going to have to update it at some point because I'm going to the new reflection system. So, not worrying about that now, though. Oh man, if I could just get one file written before the end of the stream, I'd be so happy. One texture file written. Oh yeah, I gotta do this one too. -1. So I have one entry in this array for regular textures, and then another entry for textures that are for font textures, which is kind of a hack. I gotta figure out what to do about that. I don't like that very much. And let's see, formats texture. I think we can just get rid of that one. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna delete references to this header file until I get compiler errors. Let's see here. What is it complaining about? Unknown type name Tinker format. I guess I deleted something it needed. Okay. See? Maybe I shouldn't do that. I think I just need to include this file instead. File format. That looks like something it needs. It's been so long since I've written any of this code that I don't really remember how a lot of it works, which is standard, of course, for writing code, of course. It's not very impressive, though. Okay, so I removed this texture format entirely. So I'm gonna leave that. In fact, I'll just do like this. So I can remind myself how the old way was of doing it, so that I can, have something to go off while I'm making the new way. What's this? Unused variable data size. That's fine. That's fine. That's all fine. Okay, good. Okay. So now let's actually make the write the texture data. And oh man, I don't have any way to do that either. through the reflected data. Do I? Where was it? Where was it? Here. No, it's like it's an array and I can get its length. I thought I did arrays through the generated code. I thought I did. Here's pushback. I can push back. Oh, but what's this? Oh, I have to do it like this. No, that's fine. I can deal with that. But shouldn't this be VTBF array value? No, that's what happens after you index it. Oh, this is not great. I think I want to change this interface. But it was like this for a reason. Yeah. This interface I've been struggling with pretty much constantly. Alright, well, let's see what we can do. So texture, value texture data. So I'm going to get the texture data. And now I get to array alloc it for data size. Okay. Good. Good. And so now I should be able to just write into it. I want to write into it like it's a void pointer, but I don't know if VTBF value will give me that. Will it? Oh yeah, it will. Of course it will. Okay, VTBF value texture data. I'll just do like that. Texture data array alloc, and then move into texture data. Where is my actual texture data? Here it is. Yeah, it's called data. Good. Data size. So copy all of the texture data into my new texture. And now I can write it by, where's the header again? Write it by writing the instance. You pass the instance in here. So I do, you know what, now that I deleted that other file, I can go back to using namespace file formats and delete all of this. All right. So now, here we go. The reason I did all this stuff. Instance, write. Oh, so hold on. I gotta resize the map for how big the thing is right now. Instance, get right size. Okay. And then it could possibly fail. Remove all this crap. And then write the instance build result fail. And then write the instance into this buffer, into the memory buffer that I got from the memory map, and then let's see. Let's make sure I'm doing this properly. Right size, yes. Right size. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. So I fill out my texture with all the data, and then I take this file map and I resize it to size that the instant wants. Like the instant knows how large something has to be for it to write all the data it needs to write. So I resize the file mapping to be that size. If it failed, I return false. And then if the actual writing routine fails, I return fail result. Otherwise, it's okay. Let's see how that works. Implicit conversion changes signedness. Should be a size T. Actually, it should take a size T. Or wait, where did this come from? Oh, this should be a size T. Alright. Yeah, these should all be size T's. If width, height, or depth is negative, then you're pretty much screwed at that point. Oh, it wants it as a uint32. Fine. Yeah, let's do this. uint32. Okay, unused parameter name. Was there a name before? Was there, oh my god, was there a name parameter? Did the texture know its own name? I think it did. Yeah, but I don't think we need that anymore. Texture format. No, it didn't used to have a name. Oh, that's right, the name was stuffed into the name used to be stuffed into the header of the file. For some reason I did that, which is probably a bad reason, so I'm not going to do it anymore. Yeah, I remember why I did that. It was a bad reason. So let's see. Name. Where do I... Yeah, I use name right here. So I used to stuff the name of the file that I was writing into the header of the file. That's bad. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm just going to get rid of this parameter. And where's igor.h? P-string name. There it is. Going to get rid of that. All right, this should be better. Oh yeah. So now I have to get rid of this parameter, which is fine. No matching. I gotta get rid of this parameter too. Segfault. That's encouraging. Let's debug it now. Somebody before wanted to see my debugger. Here it is. Yep. So here's a crash in the reflection system. Looks like there's something wrong with the header. Yeah, couldn't dematerialize result variable, couldn't read its memory. So this blob is invalid. Get blob size. Something is very, very wrong. So when I'm resizing the map, yeah, here's my instance. And I'm trying to get the right size, as in the size for writing. And so it asks for the size of this blob. So that's to resolve a pointer to go to a child blob. So it asks for the size of that. That's to resolve another pointer to go to the child blob, which turns out to be an invalid pointer. That's not good. This should have been caught by my test cases. I don't think I'm doing anything more complicated than I do in my test cases. Which means I'm definitely doing something wrong. What am I doing? So, is this header invalid? Nope, that header looks fine. It's a struct. Is this header invalid? That also looks fine. It's a struct. Yep, 8 o'clock, and I didn't get something written. Because of this bug. So close, man. So close. Just trying to get the size of the thing I'm going to write. I'm so close to actually writing it. So let's see. See if there's a quick fix here. This is the child blob. And it looks like it has okay data in it. 8 to... what did we write to it? Width is 1024, height is 2024, depth is 1. Min and mag are nearest, which is either 0 or 1. Okay. So to the instance, so for the texture we just have a not going to help you with your homework, sorry. Happy to explain any of the concepts that you're struggling with on your homework, but not going to write it for you. So let's see. This just has an array of my texture data and a pointer to the next, a pointer to the texture info. So the instance will point to the blob that that has the data in it. So let's see what's there. 82. So let's see. They pay me plenty good at my job. So the blob is going to be a struct, and so it's going to start with a struct header. Let's see. First pointer offset in bytes is going to be 8. And then num pointers is going to be 2. That's correct. There should be 2 pointers. Version is going to be 16? 16 does not sound correct. Oh, no, because this is 16. So that's going to be 2. Okay, or 0. So version is 0, that's correct. So this is the struct header. So let's see. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is the first pointer. It's 16. So the first pointer is 16. And here we have a blob pointer offset in words. So 16 times 8. 16 times 8. 128. Love Siri. Siri's good. So it's going to be 128 bytes from here, which I've only just... And then this is the other pointer. Wow, that's a big number. So, okay. So then one of them is an array of one, and the other is a struct. So let's see. Which one fell afoul? It's got to have been the struct. Yeah. Oops. So let's go to the other struct. The struct doesn't have any, this struct doesn't, so this struct points to this struct, and this struct doesn't have any children. Which is weird, because it thinks it has children. How many children does it think it has? Oh my god, it's so many local variables. I guess this is the downside of a command line debugger. Why am I getting STBI? Very weird, very weird. Okay, so struct header pointers. So let's print out the struct header. Num pointers 2. There should be none. Okay, we'll do it this way. Put a breakpoint right here. Rerun it. Now it has to redo the static light map generation. And that takes a moment. That's delicious. All right. So this blob header, this is a struct, its size is 24. Okay, that's fine. This is not fine. It thinks it has 2 pointers in it. So this is a legit bug in the reflection system. I goofed somewhere, and it thinks that there are 2 pointers in this thing. Probably it's using, probably this is the same problem as before, where like when I was testing structs within structs in my reflection system, I used the same struct. Like I had, my test was, I should have known better than to do it like this. My test was, where are my tests? BTBF tests. My test was pointer test, which contains 2 tests to pointer tests. So I think I need to write a new test that is pointer test 1, which has pointers to pointer test 2s. And then pointer test 2 has pointers to pointer test 3. And then pointer test 3 can just be alone. Okay. And I'm not going to fix this tonight. Especially because pointer test 3. I want to Igor's still crashing. I want to finish this damn video, man. So it'll probably take me a while to come back to this. We'll pick it up again later. This video is way too long, but it's the next video that I'm going to release on my YouTube channel. It is an hour and a half so far. Oh my goodness. Save that. It's a lot of work. So I'm going to work on the video a little bit more. That looks really nice. And then I'll get back to see if I can fix the problem in this reflection system. See how many people are still in chat. Yeah, a few people. Last chance to ask any questions about math or about programming or about anything you want to ask before I sign off. Non-homework related questions. Hey man, how are you? I have not touched Vulkan, no. Vulkan is for people who are paid to write Vulkan. Like you know, like it's not for hobbyists. It's a very low level API and like it's for if you're working on a very large game engine for a company that has a lot of clients and needs the absolute best performance out of their engine. And if you're writing a small game, I don't think you should be using Vulkan. Like, unless you already know Vulkan very well. I mean, even then, like the amount of boilerplate code just to get Vulkan running is huge. It's not really worth it unless you just like you're interested in rendering. You want to know how Vulkan works. You want to know how like really low level rendering APIs work. Then that's legit. Like, yeah, go code in Vulkan, learn Vulkan. But I'm not that person. You know, I'm not paid to write rendering code in a big company. And as much as it would be interesting to learn Vulkan, I'm trying to just focus on other things. So I haven't done any Vulkan yet. Which is kind of sad, honestly. I think it would be really fun to write some Vulkan code, but you can't have too many passions. There's just not enough hours in the day. I do know a thing or two about Vulkan, though, because, like, I've seen a bunch of talks on it. So if you have any specific questions, probably not. I can't answer anything at the, like, implementing a Vulkan library. Or, you know, implementing something on the Vulkan library. But general questions, I think I could probably approach an answer to. A good answer, maybe even. Might not even be a bad answer. Oh, I'm sure he does, yeah. Let's go take a look. There you go. I mean, that's not a terribly good selling point for your engine, but it uses Vulkan. But it's probably... Yeah, it's probably like a hobby project that the guy had. So... And I have heard of, like... All I mean by that, it not being a good selling point, is that, like, nobody's going to use the engine because, oh, it supports Vulkan? Oh, then I'm definitely using that engine. Like... It needs to support Vulkan and a bunch of other rendering APIs for it to be... And do a lot of other things for it to be, you know... The competition is Unity, you know, and Unreal. But anyway, let's take a look real quick. See, he's integrating some physics into it, so that's good. He is probably making some good progress. Frame buffer attachment. Huh. See, this isn't good. He like... I don't know, maybe this is a Vulkan-specific directory, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like this is just his entire engine. And he doesn't look like he has any interface between the rendering layer and the... Like... If this is a hobby project, that's fine, and then in that case, this criticism does not apply. But if he wants to make an actual game out of this, he's going to want to render against Vulkan, but also on other platforms against other APIs, you know, that don't support Vulkan, which is not every platform. It's a lot of platforms for sure, but it's not every platform. So if he hasn't decoupled his like basic rendering code, all of this code from Vulkan, then he'll be in trouble. He'll have to go and like tear Vulkan out of it. Yeah, it looks like Vulkan's all over the place in this thing. This is a shame. This is pretty cool. So this means, but the good thing about this is that it like it's a looks like a pretty straightforward engine that uses Vulkan. So anyone else who needs to go, who wants to go write some Vulkan code or learn Vulkan, can use this as a like an implementation reference. So that's good. It's probably taken a long time, man. Cool. Okay. I'm gonna finish my soup and then hang up. I very much dislike this, pull this up on the other computer. Oh, not bad. So yeah, it's a simple engine with physics. He's got a guy running around. Yeah. When I was at the Vulkan panel I went to Steam Dev Days and I was at the Vulkan panel, and they said that they got some modest speed improvements porting their existing like Unity and Unreal. Guy from Unity and guy from Unreal were there, and they ported their stuff over to Vulkan, and well, it's not ready for prime time yet. They got some decent speed improvements going over to Vulkan, and they haven't really even begun to dug into all of the capabilities of Vulkan, like the render passes and what else? There are like some Vulkan specific features that Vulkan does that other APIs don't do, that promise to get better performance, and they haven't even like begun to restructure their engine to take advantage of those yet. So maybe even better performance afterward. But like, this is what I mean. Like, it's great that he made an API with an engine on the Vulkan API. But there's nothing in that scene. Like, he could have written that so much faster in OpenGL. Like, maybe he has better plans for this engine. But like, Vulkan is for huge projects because there's a lot of overhead to write Vulkan. It's a lot harder to write Vulkan than it is to write OpenGL or something like that. So, but it is impressive that he did it. Okay. Hey, relax. Sit down. Sit down. Okay, soup's almost done. I gotta figure out a better way of doing this. And a better way of doing strokes. Better way of doing this. Like, reading it is fine. Hey, relax. Oh my god. I'm sorry, stream. He's a loud dog. Reading it, I think the syntax for reading it is okay, but there's no syntax right now in the generated code for creating a new struct. Like, it should say something like create A. And there's nothing like that right now. So that's on my to-do list for this thing. And we'll get to that later. And we gotta fix a bug. So, okay. I'm gonna head off. Wait, I'm not done with the soup yet. Delicious soup. Soup's done. QA time over. Thank you for everybody for coming. Had a lot of fun on this stream. I hope all the streams I do in the future are going to be this fun. I will see you all again in a week from today, Tuesday, starting 2.5 hours ago, whatever that is, your local time, where I think we will do more engine programming. Hopefully, I will have fixed this bug, and we'll get to actually like hooking these formats into the engine, and like being able to save formats and then read them back in again. So like saving and loading textures, very basic problem, but you need to do this stuff when you're writing an engine. So it will be fun. Thank you everybody for coming. I had a great time.